Hey, how's it going? My name is James P. White. That is Chris Mooney. This is the Bald and Short of It podcast. I'm short, he's bald, and I'm in the den of sadness, and he's at his house. And this is our podcast. This is our 10th episode.
Yep.
That blows my mind. I like
Yeah.
because we were talking about this last week, and it's a bit that we do on our podcast every year, or no, we're doing it's a weekly segment that we do. Drunk Thoughts of Jimmy, and I was looking at my Drunk Thoughts journal, and back in February, I had February 22nd, I had in my Drunk Thoughts journal podcast with Mooney back in February, and we're on our 10th episode now. So you know how life makes us just that much better. But yeah, this is our podcast. We do it every week. Last couple weeks we were at Sherbrooke Pub. Now I'm at my place. He's at his. Hence my lightsabers. And you're fresh back from Vegas. You were out in Vegas for both what 5 days.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
always start the podcast with our week. Let's talk about your week and dealing with that.
Yeah, I absolutely will. But first I want to say like episode 10, I know it's like, I mean, there's podcasts out there with like thousands, like Rogan's on 2,500 or whatever. Um, but honestly, it's like every week it's a breath of fresh air. I look forward to it. It's fun. And a big thing is like I kind of did one a little bit with my cousin, and we didn't say this day, this time. I mean, we waver a little bit. We'll adjust the time sometimes or do Sherbrooke, but we're committed to it. And so we always know what's going to happen. And so that's a big part of it. Um, so like, again, I said, like every Monday or whatever, like it gives me something to look forward to. And yeah, to Vegas. So like, I missed you, buddy. Like there's quite a few times we were down there and I'm like, oh fuck, I wish Jimmy was there. It was a great trip. I went with Andrea, her best friend, and Johnny, and who I'm about to story right away. But we had an awesome time. The timing of the trip is like we normally go, Andrea and I, every August, like around this time, sort of celebrate my birthday or whatever. And it's always super hot, but we don't care. It's fun. We had a pool day, which was just great. I'll show you some pictures. You're gonna laugh, Jimmy. But uh, the other thing was that Journey, not Journey. I'm sorry, we're just talking about Journey. Toto, Christopher Cross, and Men at Work were had a show at Fountain Blue this past Sunday, and we kind of timed the trip with that. But we were talking about going to that show when it was first announced, but we didn't really commit on the timing of the trip, so we weren't going to buy tickets unless we knew we were going to Vegas. And then when we finally decided to, all the only tickets were available were like secondary markets, so like like seats that would have cost $220 were like 1,400 ask on
Oh wow.
Ticketmaster resale. And then my buddy Benny, hey Benny, he's a bartender at Dick's in Vegas. I highly recommend anybody that goes to Vegas to go see Benny at Dick's. He's like the nicest dude. He's like one of my best friends. I love that guy. But he always throws in a little bit of advice. He gave me some fantasy football tips. Um, and he says, "Oh, he's like, ah, dude." That's how he always talks. He's like, "Ah, dude, wait till the day of. You're gonna get good tickets." And sure enough, Johnny and I got floor. It was 250. They were probably 800 like 2 days before that. And Andrew and Rashan were in the balcony, and they got a buck 95. And so we ended up going to see the show, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Uh, None of the bands had lost a step. I mean, Christopher Cross's voice was a little light at the beginning, but he built up to the end, and like his band was just so good, and the arrangements were really cool. It was like there's some jazzy shit, so that was definitely a highlight. And the weather was fantastic. We always stay at Excalibur and never regret it. The music at that casino is always like shit hot. It's none of that banging, loud disco shit. We had a day on Fremont, watched the Jays game at Bar Canada at the D. Um, so I'll tell a story about that. It's pretty funny. So uh, our mutual buddy Johnny, my stand-in, he
Yeah, you're soon to be replacement on the Bald and Short of It podcast,
yeah, like the plethora of bald guys you can choose from, right? Um,
and they're all your friends.
yeah, we're members of the ball community, but Johnny is not a gambler. Like he doesn't gamble. So like, I like to spin reels. I'm not an intense gambler. I don't like risking a lot of money. I bring what I plan to lose. And I always bet like low limit slots, like 60-cent spins or 75-cent spins. But um for some reason or another, I think we were at Golden Gate and we convinced Johnny, or he decided that he'd play a little table poker. So he ended up with those paper chits when you cash out of the machine. They give you that piece
Yeah,
of paper, and then you go to the casino machine, you put it in, and get your money out. We were leaving Golden Gate, and um, Andrea and Rashan they cash in their chits, and then I do mine, and like they're walking out, um, and like they're halfway to the door, and I just did mine, and I'm walking, and like you wait for your buddy. So Johnny's doing it, and I'm kind of sitting down looking around. Johnny's behind me, and then I hear like Mooney. Like I'm not talking 30 seconds later. I'm talking like 3 to 5 minutes later. And I'm wondering like how come he hasn't got his money yet? He's got the piece of paper, he just put in the machine, get your money out. Mooney, Mooney. It was like he almost had tears in his eyes. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I mean, it's like the first thing you know to do at a casino. And I'm like, what? He goes, I put my card in, but like nothing's happening. I'm like, why did you put your card in? Like, you see underneath you just put the paper in it, like it comes out the money. And he's like, I'm like, I hit cancel. He gets his card back. I'm like, see, watch, paper in, money comes out. He's just like, he, I was laughing. It's almost like that time you said adulting, but
yeah.
the best part was like, obviously he goes, fuck, I'm never gonna live this down. I'm like, yep, you're right. Um, so
And that's the first thing you talk about on our podcast.
oh yeah, like oh, this is just the beginning, Johnny. Like trust me. But so then we go to Bar Canada to watch the Jays game. Like we threw a little money around on like some sports bets using AI. None of them turned out, but they were parlays. So what are you going to do? Anyways, we're at Bar Canada, and they got that big bar at the second level of the D. All the TVs, and they serve Canadian beer, and they play Canadian games and shit. And so we got them to put the Jays game on, and like I'm sitting where I am, Johnny's sitting to my left, and there's this dude that we haven't met on my right. And like how it is, you talk to guys or whatever. So this guy and I started
Yeah,
talking, and and I'm like, hey, by the way, I told him the story with Johnny, and because like what I really wanted was like for this total stranger and I to be laughing at Johnny at the same time because I just told the guy the story, and, and I'm like, hey, Johnny, I just told him about what you did with the machine, and like the guy and I turned like, and we're both like he's to my right, and we're looking at Johnny, and we're both laughing, and the more we were laughing at him, the harder I laughed. So I had like tears in my eyes because it's so universally stupid what he did. Anyway, that was pretty funny, and we had a great trip.
you
The pool day was
you
awesome. Like,
you are a dick because the thing is though is see like since we started hanging out more and more together lately, and then I meet some of your friends, and then you get upset because me and your friends are picking on you and just not letting it go. And you're like, what, it's not fair when you're meeting someone new and then you're all
I don't get
picking on me
upset.
and
Fuck you. I don't
and
get
you do the
upset.
same thing to Johnny.
I don't. Well, it's not like that guy and I were buddies. I wanted a stranger to be laughing at him. Mission accomplished. And by the way, Jimmy, like I don't. It doesn't bother me when you and my buddies like come after me. Like I think it's fair play
Well,
because
you whine about it a lot.
I don't whine. Don't even like that's such a misrepresentation. Bullshit. Like I take it just fine because I get on you guys all the time anyways. Like whether it's together or apart. So, but I honestly wish you were there for that because it was so funny. I
Uh,
was like, poor Johnny. He's like, he was crying. He didn't know what to do. He thought he lost his card. Do I get my card back? I'm like, hit cancel, bro.
uh,
Um,
that
yeah, and
that's
another
funny.
shout out to our buddy Benny. Oh, I found the greatest restaurant maybe ever in the history of the world. It's called Copa, and it's just a little bit off strip. It's an Italian joint with a bar, and the food was spot on. On the screens, they have like highlights from Goodfellas playing all night, and that's like my favorite movie. And they got a guy up there that goes and sings Sinatra tunes, and he sounded really good. So you're having a nice Italian meal, the guy singing Sinatra, and the TV shows are, like silent clips from Goodfellas. Um, Everyone
Oh,
that came on the
that would
trip
be
there,
cool.
oh, it like I'll show you pictures. It was sick as fuck. Like, and the funny thing about that joint is that about a year and a half ago, Johnny and I went to Vegas and we wanted to do kind of divier places and stuff. And we set up like appointments at all these places. And they got a speakeasy at Horseshoe that we wanted to check out. And then this other place called Herbs and Rye, which is really popular among the locals because they have like happy hour from 5 to 7, and that includes steaks. So we went there first and we couldn't get a seat. Like it was just impossible. And it's like you want to book a rezo, you got to do like 3 weeks in advance. But um, anyways, so I'm like, hey, well, the time that we did that the horseshoe thing and herbs and rye, we booked capos too, and we had a reservation at a certain time. And because we'd gone too long at herbs and rye, we skipped over capos and went to the horseshoe instead. And it sucked, by the way. So like just for everyone who's listening, like the speakeasy at Horseshoe, like quite literally sucks. So in retrospect, we should have gone to Capitals all along. We didn't. So this trip was the first time, but it was front of mind because we missed it before, and it was like I said, it's everything I said. I'll show you videos. Like, don't worry, I won't bore you, but that was
Hey,
another.
why don't you send me pictures? And then what I'll do is the pictures that you want to post on the podcast, I'll do at the dead end. And then everybody, if anyone who is interested in finding out what it is Mooney's talking about and
Yeah,
watching Mooney have fun and stuff like that, we'll put that at the end of the podcast.
yeah, that's good. I wish I had a picture of Johnny crying at that ATM, but whatever. I've got a great one of
But
him at
yeah,
the
you
pool.
just keep turning that knife. Just keep turning that knife to poor Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'll stop. I won't belabor it any further. But great trip, and you and I are going for sure, like in the fall or something. I'm making that happen.
Yeah, so like you're talking about your Vegas trip, and I've mentioned when I went with the locker room a few years ago, I found a video, and I might put a clip of it at the end of this podcast as well, because we were down at the D. We were down there in the middle of November, and we were in the swimming pool. Like we were the only Canadians there. We were the only Canadians. It's an outdoor pool. And the water in the pool itself was cold. And we did a quick where we all jumped in and we froze to death. But we spent like half the day in the hot tub. And these people that were in the hotel came out and go, "Oh, you guys must be Canadians." Because we're in the hot tub, we're in the pool, and they're all wearing coats, and we're
Yeah.
and oh, you
No.
guys
Yeah.
must be from
Exactly.
Canada.
Yeah.
But
And
but
you
I'll
know
put
what?
a
In
clip of that
November, it's
video.
fine. November is like pool weather. It's like what 20-ish, like
Yeah,
whatever.
but the water in that pool was freezing. Like the three of us jumped in, and Locke was doing was recording the video, and all he was yelling in the video. is get James, he's drowning. And I'm sitting there trying to get out of the pool, and he's just screaming, "Don't let him drown!" And because I don't swim well, and it's just funny. But we were the only ones there, and there were people sitting
Oh
poolside
yeah,
that were
I'm
wearing
sure.
coats. That were wearing coats.
That reminds me. I'll tell you a quick one. Quite a few years ago, I was staying off strip at this joint called Silver Sevens, and they have a really nice pool area, with the palm trees and stuff. But it's not very big. It's not a huge resort, um, but it's very like private. Like there not a lot of people use it, but it's really cool. Like I love it. And every time I stay there, I'll go and spend like a few hours at the pool at least. And usually it's just you and maybe a few other people. And this one time I was there, I was in the water and it was just me. And then this dude shows up and he came in the pool and like we were chatting for a bit. And like, I was like reading and stuff too. And I don't know, like half an hour later, he goes, hey, do you know where the bathroom is? And I'm like, oh, it's over there, like just you go over there or whatever. And so he gets out of the water and as he's walking away, I'm like, and by the way, thanks. Because he didn't piss in the pool, right? Like he actually wanted
But
to know where the
maybe,
bathroom. Hey,
but
thanks.
maybe, but maybe he had to do a number two.
I'm gonna be an optimist on this one. Like
I would have just pissed in the pool.
that's good information for me to have.
Yeah.
When we go to Vegas, there will not be a pool day.
By the way, when we're both in the water on the boat, I'm always pissing in the lake. Just so you know.
That's disgusting.
And and also so you know, when I'm in the dunk tank, I'm
Yeah,
usually pissing in the dunk tank too. So yeah.
you got a drunk midget soaking in his own urine.
If
We'll get to that later.
if
The drunk
if
tank.
you if you aren't pissing on yourself in a dunk tank, then what good is the dunk tank? Yeah, we'll touch on that a bit later. Well, my week wasn't as fun as yours this week. Um, a couple things. One of which I did something this week that I since I could work, I swore I'd never do. And man, is it a tough thing to do? But um, I sent in an application or whatever it is for EI. Like I'm, kind of struggling with cash right now with limited hours at my current job, trying to find other stuff, forms of income. And it's a pain in the ass, uh, going into EI because you fill out all these forms. They ask this, they ask that. And, um, and then like I ended up phoning them a couple of times because it says on there that you need your record of employment from your previous job. But then I phoned them to go, okay, how do I get my record of employment from my previous job? Because they said they sent it to Service Canada, and then the person on the phone said, like when I phoned them, said, no, once you send in the application, then we can check to see if it's been sent to Service Canada, but we can't check to see if it's been sent until you fill out the form because we don't know this is really you on the phone. But at least if you fill out all your correct information on the computer, then we're not. So I get it to a point for safety purposes of not giving my information to other people. But it was like I spent like an hour and a half trying to fill out this thing, and then you wait 5 days for them to think about it, and then they contact you again for any other information. But it could take a month or longer to get anything from them. It's and it's something I swore I never would because I've always worked, and it was kind of difficult doing it, but you know it's difficult things still have to be done anyway.
Yeah,
That's
it's
we've talked about this before. I mentioned it a couple of times. Adulting, it's stuff that you don't want to do,
yeah.
that you don't, and but still has to be done. And so
Did
we'll
they
go there. At what's that?
did they like like you said, it doesn't feel good. It's not something that you're excited about. It's humbling, right? Um, like did you go in person or was it all on the phone?
It was all on the phone.
Did the people that you talked to seem empathetic? Like, were they seem like decent people and go, "I'm sorry to hear that." Like just something to take the edge off or something like, or
No,
was
it
it
was
like
just
kind
they
of
were answering
bureaucratic?
questions. They were just answering questions. Like I didn't express those feelings to them on the phone. I said,
No,
"Hey, I've been laid off. I've never had to apply for EI before. I don't know how to do it. What do I need to do?" And the lady was really good. She says, "Okay, do you have access to a computer?" And I'll go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Okay, so you type in this web address, and then you click here, you click here, click here, and then you have to fill out this form. And we can't do it over the phone. You need to do it there because." For whatever reason, personal information. But she was very good about it. And then I'm like, okay, so I fill it out and then we go from there. She goes, yeah. Is there anything else you need? No. And then I got stuck at one part in the forum and then I phoned and talked to another guy and then he did the same thing. They weren't indifferent. Like they were just answering questions. Like I wasn't pouring my heart out to them, saying, "Hey, this is,
no,
you
I
know,"
know that. I know you're
and
not
it
going to go.
was
I had a tough time and blah blah blah. Like, but just your
because
general demeanor is like you appreciate that. These people are. Like you just assume that. I mean, presumably like anybody who's filing for unemployment is like um not doing great. Like, and so like just your default is, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What can I do to help? Oh, we'll just do that. Like just the tone, right? Like you would hope that there's some like
they
sort of
they were they were very kind. They were very, like, it wasn't like it was a cold yes or no. It was okay. This is what you need to do. Um,
yeah,
and like they definitely, I would never say they were indifferent or cold. They were very pleasant. They didn't make me feel like a jackass. Um, and when I was asking dumb questions, they didn't go, "Oh, hey, do this, you moron," or anything like that.
yeah,
It was, just, this is what you need to do. Is there anything else we can do for you?
yeah.
It was a good experience. I definitely would not say that that they were it was hard because of the people. It's just all the rigmarole you have to fill out on the form. And then I've been told by other people that even though I am currently employed, but I'm making like
You're not working 40 hours a week.
I'm making like
Yeah, you don't have to say, but you're not
eight
working
hours.
40
I'm
hours a
making
week.
8 hours a week. Like
Yeah,
but even on that form, it doesn't give you the the a place to go. Well, I was laid off from a job where I was making this much, and then, well, are you are you were you working anywhere else during that time?
yeah,
But they didn't say, "Hey, are you doing anything right now?" So I'm going to have to probably talk to someone again once they go through my application to tell them that I am making 8 hours a week somewhere else,
yeah, yeah. Well,
because 8 hours a week isn't a job. Like, it's casual. Like, that's beer money. Like,
yeah, yeah. Well, knowing you, not even. Like,
so
no, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, I hope that, like I said, at least people assume that it's not easy and they're like a little nicer than like, sir, this is a Wendy's, right?
yeah, like. no, and because I've never done it, and you know what, I always swore I never would because I've always found something, and I've got a bunch of potential, but nothing is hammered in place yet, and
Yeah.
it's it sucks,
Hey, I
but
got to tell you. Sorry, go on.
no.
I got to tell you, our mutual buddy Bayrack. Um, we were talking. I think we were talking off the cast here that him and I went to the thing, the fraternity thing, and we were talking about the drunk tank and all that stuff.
Dunk
And
tank, dunk tank.
um,
You're not.
and and I was like, well, maybe we should talk about it on the podcast. And he goes, yeah, that'd be great. So he texted me, and I threw him a link. So I don't know how you feel about having a surprise guest. He hasn't popped up or anything, but we could
Hey,
maybe shuffle around.
if he shows up, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
And
it's
if he
just an
doesn't,
audible.
if he doesn't show up, we'll still talk about what we're gonna do with the
Yeah, we'll just do
dunk
it.
tank.
Yeah, drunk tank.
Dunk tank. I'm not going in a drunk tank.
Well,
I've
maybe
never been
later.
that drunk. Um,
No, you
but
you just get in an ambulance and go to the hospital.
yeah, that's it. Like I don't get arrested. I just get taken to the hospital. Um,
Wake up in a
like
straitjacket in a cushion room.
so. Another thing about my week that kind of I don't know how I feel about it. Like I'm kind of a little bit bothered, but I'm also kind of excited for the guys that this is happening to. But for those of you who don't know, before so for the last 8 years or so, I worked for Cruise FM. I worked on the morning show and did that for 8 years. They laid me off the end of November, and Cruise FM made a huge announcement this week that starting in September, uh, Nielsen, uh, Nielsen Sports Talk Radio is going to be on the morning show on Cruise FM. I I don't know how I feel about it. Like it sucks that they canned me and Grant and even Lachlan. Like we had a show for 8 years, and now they're bringing in Nielsen. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against the guy. I used to work with him when I worked at the Bear. He was on TSN 1260 for forever. He's a really nice guy, and Lieutenant Eric, even nicer. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Eric, I don't think he's ever said a nasty thing about anybody that I've ever seen. They're both great guys. It's
Yeah, like
just it's
sorry to interrupt, like, but yeah, like I'm a sports guy, and yeah, when they were on the radio, I was listening to them all the time, and they put together a nice little like EST Edmonton Sports Talk for any of you who want to check it out. But they produce everything themselves. They do all the stuff themselves. And so I think it's more like a licensing thing as opposed to like them paying three guys salary and all that. Not for nothing.
I think like basic. They are paying them to be on the show, but I think what it is they're basically replacing our replacements. So our replacements at on Cruise FM is a show out of Regina, and it's actually from the play out in Regina that they cut up the breaks and put it into the time slot. But the thing that I think is kind of cool that I think they could have great success with is the fact that that's going to be a segment that has no music. So from 6 to 9, it's just talk radio. They do their whole thing, and it's going to be very unique for the station. It's cool for them, and
Uh,
I'm really happy for them, but it still sucks that I got removed and those guys are there.
yeah,
But they got shit. They got the shit too back when they got canned from TSN. So
yeah, and they
I'm
did
I'm
something.
happy for them.
And yeah, sorry I cut you off there. My apologies. I just like wanted to throw that angle out there. Um,
No, no, it's it's a good thing for them. It
yeah,
just
and
was a
trust me,
weird.
like it's good semi-local dudes that have been in the market forever that got tossed an equally bad hand and made something of it. I mean, they had a big audience, with the sports niche and all that. So I mean, it's a lot harder than being a startup. But and I'm glad they caught on. But like in fairness to you, Jimmy, I mean, the reason why you boys got shit canned is because it was a pretty they were watching their numbers and it was a cost cutting measure. And then they got
No,
some right, like no, and because then they get canned, they get like somebody from Yorkton. You're not getting local traffic, you're not getting local news. And like
no,
so they probably got cost cutted too because they just licensed like Nielsen's gonna do like they're gonna do the Eminent Sports Talk show no matter what anyway. And
yeah.
it's gonna be on YouTube and all the other platforms they do it on. Uh and hey, they get thrown a few extra bucks to put it on that, then they will. Um an
I
interesting sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it's cool. I really do. It's
Yeah.
just it's kind of for a guy that worked on that station for 8 years. It's kind of a little like
Yeah. Well,
just yeah.
but please like realize that what it costs them to have you, Grant, and Lock on is like massive compared to what they're paying to license the
Oh,
EST
well,
show to go on,
yeah,
So and so at least it's local. And you're not gonna be hearing traffic, but you hear a lot of local sports content and stuff. So I mean I wish them the best, but I totally get where you're coming from.
yeah. It's but you know what? I to be honest, I'm gonna give them a listen. I like the guys. I love Eric. I used to work with Eric.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they're good dudes.
He's one of the nicest guys on the planet. I'll tell you a story about Eric because it's when I first met him. I was on the Bear when Locke brought me over to the Bear,
Yeah, because
and
it's all in the same building, right?
yeah, but he wasn't on TSN at the time. He was a producer for a later show that we had where he had to do like run the weather and all that kind of stuff
Yep.
between 7 and 9. And so I've met him a bunch of times, and Locke introduced me to him. He goes, "Hey, this is Glenn. He's on the night show." And then we were sitting there and we're working together. Worked with him for almost 2 years.
You
And
mean
then one
Eric,
day,
right?
let me tell the story.
So, sorry.
Okay. So for 2 years, I'm calling this guy Glenn. Okay. Because Locke introduces me to him as Glenn, or he's Glenn. And then one day I'm sitting there talking to him in the control room and I just said, Hey, Glenn. And he goes, "My name isn't Glenn. It's Eric." And I'm like, why does Locke call you Glenn? I don't know. He's been doing it for years and he just won't stop. Um, so I was calling him Glenn for 2 years. And then I found out his name was Eric because at the time, like Eric's brother also worked at the radio station. His name's Lucas. And he's, one day he said to Locke, he goes, "Why are you calling my brother Glenn?" He goes, "That's his name." No, his name is Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Locke worked there for like 5, 6 years, calling him Glenn the whole time. And he was
And
such a nice guy. He didn't want to correct it.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like, part of the story that the brother reaching out to him is that Eric's too nice that he's gonna correct him, eh? Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah. Well, you know what? It's good to see them doing that. Interesting angle on that though is that you know ever since FM came out, AM sort of became like a talk radio format. And to be
Yeah.
honest with you, I think I mean, maybe CBC's got an angle on that, and I'm not big into radio, but um, this is one of those rare times, at least in my recollection, that the FM format is dedicated to, at least for 3 hours, talk radio. If you know what I mean.
Yep.
So, um,
I yeah, this is like I'm gonna check them out for sure.
oh yeah, yeah, I've listened to him a bit on account of my sports predilection, but um, we got our mutual buddy Mike waiting in the room. You want to bring him in?
Okay, why don't we bring them in and we'll talk about the drunk tank.
We'll talk about the drunk tank. Um, and that was just as a brief introduction. Mike is one of my oldest and dearest friends. He's also close buddies with Jimmy. There's a mutual admiration and respect for them. Maybe as my victims, I don't know, but Mike's a great dude, and he's part of my fraternity, and part of the drunk tank idea involves my fraternity. So we thought we'd talk about it a little bit here. So I'll bring him in right now. I just clicked allow on the thing. Oh, there it is. His camera's off and his microphone's off. Um, so we'll see if he gets on here. I'll text him right now. Oh, there he is. There's your
Da
man,
da da.
Mike. Yeah, we had ourselves
Hey,
a little intro there. We told him a little bit about you and oldest and dearest, and how you and Jimmy are tight. So
tight.
uh, another part of that
Hi,
is yeah, we
he's not showing up. Camera, is his camera on, or is it just Mike?
yeah, no, Mike's showing up.
Yeah. Well, here. I
Yeah,
see you guys.
sorry. Yeah, we got the tri camera going there.
Okay,
So oh, you're on the yacht deck, eh, Mike?
On the yacht deck. Yep.
Yeah, that's nice. Good to see. Good to see.
Just finished work. Yep.
Mike lives like 4 blocks away from me, and like our house was built by the same builder, and it's kind of identical ish.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
Just
you
so
right, Jimmy?
yeah, yeah.
the reason for that is so when we go to each other's houses, we know where we're going.
Like you know where the bathroom is,
Yeah.
and then yeah, because I found that too because when I came to your house and you go, yeah, it's in the same spot as
Same spot.
Mooney, and I knew exactly where that was.
Yeah.
Well, welcome on the show, Mike. We'd love to have you.
Hey,
We're-
great to be here, guys.
And I just gave a little brief intro talking about the runk tank. I keep saying drunk, and Jimmy keeps saying dunk. We line that up for next Tuesday at the Delta Kappa Epsilon House from
Yep.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we're doing a little charity thing, and we're really looking forward to having Jimmy. And I'm frankly, Mike. I mean, I'll let you weigh in on this, but I'm excited about Jimmy meeting the fellas because like part of the discussion was like a little bit of the younger guys being a little hesitant about doing like the classic, I don't know how to call it, pranks or whatever, but just work hard, play hard kind
The,
of attitude.
yeah, the classic bits where you just you're having fun, and it sometimes seems at somebody else's expense, and then some people take it as offending. You know, someone like having a midget in a dunk tank. Some people get offended by that.
No, see, Moody, you got to remember back when you were rushing, you might have missed it, but I remember one of our shorter members was they were doing Dunkadeek in quad. Um, his initials are VT. I don't want to say his name here, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you know,
Hello,
we
VT, if you're listening.
we've been there, we've
Yeah,
done that, and but this is at the house. We're looking forward to that. I think it's gonna create a lot of buzz. That's what it's about.
yeah, and
Cool.
again, like I said, I'm looking forward to the fellas meeting Jimmy because, like, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean, yeah, like
yeah.
Mike met Jimmy a while ago, and like, I mean, it's I hate paying him compliments because he's such a dick to me, but quite frankly, like every time somebody meets Jimmy, they love him. So should be a good time. Like I'm looking forward to that more than watching him get dunked.
Oh yeah.
But what are they raising? What are they raising money for?
Well, like we have the Delta Phi Fraternal Foundation that we use, as our fraternity to like for like our work in the community, like the Boys and Girls Clubs and things like that, where um, it's typically like see a need. Um, back at Mike's in my day, like we used to have a Christmas dinner um, for the Hazeldene's Boys Club. Is that right, Mike?
Yep. Yep.
And just doing trying to give back a little bit. We're lucky enough to be in a position we're in, and if we can help raise money and put that back in the community, it's a good example to the younger guys too. And so that's kind of the angle.
Even if there's
Um,
like a charity that you would recommend that you normally work with, Jimmy, I think the guys would be open to that as well.
I'm I'm
So that's
I'm
up for
cool.
discussion.
I'm cool with what you guys are doing because I'm doing it for you because I've between you and Mooney and I've met some like that whole friends group is there's so much about you guys that I like and I respect. And if I can help you guys, because like Mooney's been my friend and he's helped me out doing a lot of things, and we do the podcast together, and I find like Mooney's like my older retarded brother, but it's just uh
we're like the same age, man. Like, and
dude,
like
you're three
you know,
years older.
you know how I help you out with the podcast. I help you out with the podcast because I'm the talent.
You help me out with the podcast because uh, nobody else will go on a podcast with you. So you chose me because nobody else would do it because you by yourself is boring. Um, but the thing is though is I've always been the kind of guy that loves to be part of the community, help out. I've done dunk tanks for a number of different charities. I've done crazy things for so many as like for that and doing that and helping you guys and your fraternity at the same time is really cool for me. And again, it gets this lovely face in front of more people. I because I
Well,
also work at bars and stuff like that where I raise money for me, but it's just the thing is I like being around people, and if I can help someone at the same time, I'm game.
the bar stuff ain't easy. What you do out there, like I know, like on your same. I mean, it's kind of cool in a way. Like insofar as like you get a driver that drives you around, and you wherever you go, you drink from. Like, what time is it? Like 11 to 9. I don't. Like, what are the hours when
Uh,
you do that shit?
last last year last year for St. Patty's Day, my first gig was at noon, and my last one ended at close of the bars, so like
I,
two in the
I
morning.
I followed him online. It was like a glorious journey because I couldn't make it out that day or night, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna follow what Jimmy's doing. It'll make my day, and it did. And every bar he was at,
Because
I had another beer, so that worked out.
Yeah, I
yeah,
met
and
him
for every
earlier.
bar I was at, I had two. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I met Jimmy uh at Canadian Brew House. Free plug right there. On downtown. And not the ice house, the brew house on 109th in Stony
yeah,
Plain.
the original that wasn't the original. That was the second. The first brew house was actually on the west end where it used to, where it's now O2's on
156.
156
Yeah,
and 111.
yeah,
And the one by Grant McEwen was their first. It when I first went there, it was called Kaylee's, but that was the
yeah,
first brew house that I went in and started doing stuff with back with the Bear. And now they have locations everywhere. I think they have
yeah,
12 in the city. They have some in Ontario now. They're everywhere.
yeah. They've done some good work suburban wise too. Like some of those
I gotta show you
newer.
guys what's going on here. We got this cactus, and sorry, it's just a little action in the Bayrack backyard.
Oh,
Okay, as long as they're not dunking anybody.
No,
I don't remember this being called the ball, the short, and the Bayrack of it.
Coming soon to a theater near you. Uh,
Oh boy,
Then again, it might make it easier for you to replace me, right, Jimmy?
the tall of it.
yeah, but he's not bald.
I'm tall.
Well, no, but like you got a Bayrack, you got a short.
Yeah,
Anyways, no, because I remember when we met that day, and
I'm also
like,
a bit wide. Could be wide too.
yeah, yeah, I got to work on that. Not for nothing. Um, but you were wearing, like, you wear the whole, like, you have like kind of like a top coat and like you're wearing like a tie, aren't you? I mean,
yeah.
that's pretty suffocating.
I wear the bow tie, a shirt. I have a vest. I have pants, and of course the hat.
Yeah, it was like 2 o'clock, and you were ripe as fuck.
Oh yeah, it means yeah. Uh, Like
Oh, my dog's wet.
it gets sweat. You get sweaty when you're like I have deodorant. I did once every couple of hours. I go into the bathroom and kind of try to spruce up a little bit. But
Yeah.
but when
So
you're wearing that much clothes and it's nice weather like it was then,
yeah,
it's it gets
yeah, it's pretty
fun.
suffocating. And like I said, honestly, to be honest with the two of you, is like I couldn't imagine doing that shit from like noon to like close, because close is like 3 a.m. And frankly,
Yeah,
like I couldn't do that like with my own free will. Not to mention I got to stop here, there, and everywhere. Like now, I mean, right?
yeah.
Like if you're day drinking, unless you're crushing, I don't know, like Michelob Ultras at like 2 or 3 an hour, you're not going to make it till close. That's like a trip to
I
Vegas.
I but I pace myself. I've been doing this for enough years that you know.
Pace yourself.
Actually, this year was a little rougher because I my handler this year, the ones that were driving me around, made sure I had a schooner of beer at every location. And yeah, I was kind of lit up. And then,
Yeah, I know.
but it, but then I also eat and drink water and all that kind of stuff when I'm there. But then at the end of the night, then, you know, I go hard.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe, maybe like this year we'll do something for that. We'll figure it out. Lots of time. So Mike, one
Yep.
of the things that Jimmy and I were talking about that we sort of scraped against here since we had you on was like it's like some of the younger guys not really sure about. I won't get into details about the T-shirt. Jimmy and I talked about that offline, but
Yep.
like just the idea that like I mean the history of the Deke chapter in Edmonton at the University of Alberta has always been one of like initiative, trailblazing, like, and not really standing out against the rest, doing our own thing and not being dictated to by anybody else. I think
Yeah.
that's fair.
Nonconformist. Nonconformist is what I would
Nonconformist for
use.
sure.
And
And
it's the wave now is, the American headquarters are dictating to their Canadian chapters, how they should operate, even though our drinking age is different and our insurance laws are different, and and mitigation and all that, and or litigation, and it just doesn't make sense. And so too many fraternities are now like pretty much under the foot of their American headquarters, and it's not quite it's not quite fair. And
yeah,
so
and
we
and
have to. What is my? What are you talking to me? Oh no,
at the
my
at the
wife.
university at the University of Alberta, the Deke chapter here, like we own our own house. It's got 8 rooms. It's in a prime location, corner of 110th Street and 87th Ave. We're not a university club, so we're allowed to have parties, and people are allowed to drink in our basement at our parties. Um, or people
Yeah,
are allowed to
people we
come
invite.
as people that
People we
we
invite.
invite are people that we invite are allowed to come in and imbibe if they choose at our house. Um, and we're not part of the fraternity council. And despite the fact that they would like us to be,
I
and we
used to run
stand
that.
alone.
I used to run that
Yeah,
thing. way
We stand
back.
alone, and in fact, because of those things, like there's kind of like a suffocating culture that a lot of I find, um, like some like the actives and the guys that are like participating actively in the chapter that are like worried about being canceled or being judged or um, losing prospects because they despite the fact that they think ideas are great, they don't want to implement them. And like Jimmy and I were talking again offline about the idea of having like Jimmy in the tank or whatever, and like Jimmy's one of my best friends, and it's like he did that 2 weeks ago at a golf tournament, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I had the time to be there because I would like be buying all the balls, because like we're buddies, and I know like he's like enjoying it, right? Like, well, not really enjoying getting dunked, but
Oh yeah, no, but I just hope the
It's gonna be
weather
great.
on Tuesday is better than it was at the dunk tank I was at last time because I was like it was so cold when I'd get out of the water that my hands and feet were turning blue, like it was like I was they actually made me get out of the dunk tank because they thought I was going to have hypothermia because it was that cold,
yeah, we
like
talked about that last week. That was a cold day. Yeah.
We'll have a
yeah.
heating towel for you and some hair dryers because you're a pretty hairy guy. We're gonna
All
have to dry you off
all
quick.
all I care about is beer.
No, there's plenty
I
of
don't,
that.
and
You don't
because
have to worry about that.
that's why Mooney keeps calling it the drunk tank. So he goes, just so you know, we're getting you drunk and tanking you at the
No,
same
no,
time.
you're choosing to drink if you want to. As
The
a guest,
the
Oh,
you're my.
the
but
deek drunk tank. It's like one big word
but
there.
but the but
Deek drunk.
the thing is though is I have this is my this is my self control when it comes to drinking beer. Hey Jimmy, do you want a beer? Okay.
That's been my experience.
Hey, Jimmy, do you want to have a beer? I'm not sure, but okay. Um,
The Deek
Yeah,
House is the land
I
of
don't,
beer.
I don't want to get drunk, but I'll have at least one. Okay, maybe another one.
yeah. At least is a gross understatement.
You know, the Canadians
Yeah.
never say I'm gonna go for a beer. We always just say I'm gonna go for beer
Yeah,
in the
pretty
plural
much,
sense.
right?
Americans don't do that. When I was down there, like when I lived down there, and I'm like, hey, do you want to go for beer after work? They're like, yeah, I'll go for a beer. And I'm like, I didn't say that. I said beer.
Yeah,
They're like, wow.
yeah. That's
Like
a that's a
I go,
really
you're
important distinction.
21 drinking age has just diluted your culture.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, I wanted to highlight the fact that I'm not saying that we like that I we got Mike and I got pushback for um, suggesting like Jimmy come by or whatever. But there are other ideas that like we really wanted the chapter this year to lean into to recruit new members, and they all had to do with our um, like Mike said, nonconformist sort of attitude
Yeah,
of like we stand out because um, uh, like we're self determined and
yeah,
a lot of younger folks like have trouble with that. I think, right, Mike? If you had anything to weigh in
yeah.
on that, or
They like to be governed. Is that it? But you know, I also think just generally in the history of everything there that's been going on, it's been pretty much about because we have been nonconformist, because we have been, we do basically what we want, is that the other ones, there's like, there'll be like some ninnies, and the odd ninny here and there, and then they think, well, they're getting to do all that, and my fraternity doesn't get to do that, so they have to conform to what we're doing. So like do
yeah,
lowest common denominator, and so they try to come up with ways and try to do judicial things. They're really boring crap, and it never
yeah,
worked on us. We just said we don't have to do that. They're like,
no,
yeah, you do. We're like,
and
no, we don't. Show me where.
always
Show me
have,
where we have to do that.
always will. I don't know if you know this, Jimmy, but our chapter at Delta Cap Epsilon at University of Alberta, Delta Phi, We put on like the world's largest fraternity party
Oh, that's
every
another
year.
episode, man. Let's do
Oh
that
yeah,
another episode.
yeah. Maybe we'll do it like next week or something. With your approval,
Christ.
Jimmy. But like we don't want to overrun this thing. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to shed a little light on what we're doing next Tuesday at the Delta Cap Epsilon House at the University of
Yeah.
Alberta on the corner of 110th Ave and 110th Street and 87th Ave.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna pop by. And I'll see you guys there. I'm gonna head off, sign off for now. Tend to the
perfect.
family.
So one
Looking
quick question before you take
Yeah.
off, Bayrack. So anyone can go, whether you're part of the frat house or not.
Anybody can come.
It's open to the public.
Totally open.
more the merrier.
Yeah. Totally open. Anybody.
The more the
Yeah.
merrier. And
So
like
anyone you want to come by and dunk a midget, um, I'll be there. And hopefully no one at the fraternity is offended by the fact that I say dunk a midget, because some people do get offended, because that's what I was saying to Chris off air is I'm very vocal, and people do get offended by me, um
You won't
for
find that at our
me,
house.
like for me,
yeah,
because they're like, I can't believe you do that. It's like, or I can't believe you're making you do this. No one makes me do a dunk tank, and I want to make sure that everybody knows this was my idea. Mooney
yeah,
came to me and said, "Hey, do you have an idea of something funny that we could do for the frat or fraternity?" And I'm
Perfect.
like, "Hey, dunk tank."
The
And
guys are
it was
yeah.
so
either that,
excited. Like
it was
they
No,
are
either that or
so
else no go
excited.
football.
honestly, Jimmy, like, by the way, like, I mean, there's other things that Jimmy gave me advice about my company's logo. I mean, the dude is like promotions number one. But I'm gonna say, like, Mike, before you leave, like, as much as I can't wait to see this jerky get like dunked in the tank like a bazillion times, as much as like the thing I'm most excited about is Jimmy meeting the fellas who are so excited to meet him,
Yeah.
because I mean that's going to be awesome unto itself. He's such a great dude. Mike, Jimmy, you love Jimmy, like we love each other. It's great having you, brother. Thanks for
Yeah.
sticking around.
Thanks for having me on
Yep.
the show, guys. Have a great rest of the stream here.
Yeah, you bet. Take care, man.
Cheers. All the best. See you.
Now fuck off.
That
Oh, there he
that
did.
was that was our buddy Mike Bayrack, soon to be the bald, the short, and the Bayrack of it.
Yeah, not for nothing. Like, um, I love Mike to death. You know that. Mike knows that. Um, I am looking forward to maybe. I mean, we wouldn't do it every week or nothing, but Mike's a big Oiler fan, so talking hockey here at some point. Maybe when the Oilers do something newsworthy besides win, you know.
How about we get him on before the first preseason game?
Yeah, yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out. Like,
Like, well,
uh,
like we always need to hear a voice other than yours when it comes to sports, because yours is just yours. Um, sometimes,
I
because
admire
it's
your
funny.
restraint
Like,
there.
what's that?
I said I admire your restraint there. You just said yours is just yours. I know you have
But
opinions about
because,
that.
but I don't see. The funny thing is when it comes to, because we'll actually, what, just touching on it now, we can get into sports in a minute.
Yeah,
But back when I worked on radio with Lachlan, um, I like Grant would do the news, or if Grant wasn't there, I would do the news, and Locke would do the sports.
sure.
And then we'd finish the show. Like we did the show, sports once an hour. So three times during. So we did it at the six, the six, the seven, and the eight. We never did sports at the nine. And
Yeah,
and then at the end of the show, I'm like, "Hey, Locke, did you know that the Oilers did this? They got a new forward or something?" And he
yeah,
goes,
trade or whatever. Yeah.
"A new trade." And he goes, "Dude, I've talked about it three times during the show today." And I'm like, "Oh." Okay, so maybe I should listen to you. And the same thing, like I think that same thing happened last week, where you were um the week before you were talking about the Oilers getting a new defense coach or new something, and I'm like, hey Mooney, did you know that
Yeah.
they got a new defense coach? Yeah, I talked about it last week when you were ignoring me. Oh, okay.
And like for those of you listening, like Jimmy and I have basically like we're gonna get to some of these things like drunk Jimmy thoughts and whatnot, but like we have a like how like you can share like a document in Google Drive. So like as soon as this episode's over, um we'll build like another Google Doc that'll be like notes for the show like a week from now. And then like whatever happens to me during the day or something happens to me that I want to talk to this meatball about, we'll add it to the notes. And then so we just have this loose. I actually quite like it, but
And we
uh
don't always touch on everything. We
yeah,
because our
there's lots of holdovers.
conversations go really long. Like for example, I feel like we haven't touched on anything, and we're over an hour in on our
I think so
podcast. We haven't even touched
because my
half
week
of
was
what.
like like what happened like what we don't time it, like we don't go at minute 10 we do this, which is a great thing about this format, by the way. We didn't go like oh, Bayrack showed up at whatever minute 20, I don't even know. But idea is just like things to talk about. And usually like again, when we started this whole thing, it was like what happens when we meet up at the pub and like whatever saloon and have a drink, and pretty much like it's like maybe the episode notes are like a safety net. I don't know.
But I also find like for myself personally, and again, we're pulling back the curtain, telling people what's going on. When I
Yeah.
edit the podcast, or even when I go to pull clips, because I do like I have posted several times small little funny clips of things that have happened during the show, that's as a preview. Hey, for next week, this is what happened last week, and for an example, when we had Bayrack on, and he said the bald, and the Bayrack of it. I'm finding that clip. That's going on next week, because
Yeah.
it was just so funny. And it was so funny how we do this stuff. And so everyone knows, yes, we have notes, but there's nothing scripted about our show at all. We fly by the seat of our pants. Sometimes we don't even know what we're going to say until after we said it. And then there's been a couple of times that we've said things and went, shit, did I say that?
Or like,
Like,
no, I don't think we edit that shit out, but um
no, I've done it. Like where I've said something and then go, "Oh, I can't believe I said that to Mooney," because now he's going to hold that over my head for the rest of my life. Um,
oh no, keep that shit in. I
oh
want
yeah,
proof.
but no, I don't. We don't, and we don't cut things out of our podcast. It's
No, no,
all
it's
unedited.
like I
Yeah, you
said, that's
guys
all I
get.
want. Like, no, legit. Hey, I gotta ask you, not for nothing, but like, I don't know, like where you're sitting, I suppose it would be your right shoulder, but you got the two slots, like, yeah, that side behind you. The thing,
Okay,
no,
yeah,
other side, other side, other side. Yeah, you got the two hangy things.
yeah.
Did you get robbed or?
No, it's just one of the hooks underneath broke. I moved the lightsaber. This this lightsaber was over there. I had it a little more central, and then one of the hooks broke.
Well, you should move your camera then or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the den of sadness.
No, I was like I said, I was just curious. It's no big deal. So I don't know. I don't know if you got something else you want to talk about, like on our list, but um,
Let's get into the sports.
okay. Well,
Do you have anything sports wise? How are
basketball
the Elks
kid.
doing? Or the Eskimos?
Eskimos actually won their third game in a row last Friday. I was in Vegas. I didn't watch it. I was watching. Was that? Yeah, I was watching the Jays because. Okay, yeah, that's a good lead in. So the Elks switched from what was supposed to be their franchise quarterback Trey Ford to Cody Fajardo. I've already talked about it on this podcast. I don't want to waste too many people's time that don't care, but Cody Fajardo has been fantastic for the Eskimos. Um, and yeah, who did we play on Friday? I didn't watch the game, but um, I think it was the Red Blacks. I could be wrong, but that was our third win in a row. We are not in the playoffs. Um, we're last in the West, but the East sucks, and they always have the crossover. But coming up this weekend, we're going to go to Calgary, play the first half of the Labor Day. So it's a Labor Day weekend game. Anybody going to Calgary, big Eskimos fans, like there's people going on buses going there as a tradition. People do that. Um, we're playing Calgary, and that is pretty much the litmus test. Uh, you guys might have caught my negativity and my worry about the Eskimos, um, in earlier episodes. I mean, we've been on like 10 weeks, but that third win in a row is a real point of optimism. Um, and if we can hang in there with Calgary, and like who wouldn't want us to win both the Calgary version and the Edmonton version a week later of the Labor Day Classic? But if we can do that, I think that we're in the running for the playoffs, and that would be something because, like I said earlier, this team was assembled almost from the ground. A lot of the guys like hadn't been together, and it takes a long time for a team to coalesce. And the idea that maybe they're building something here, even if we miss the playoffs, but like by a hair, is a reason for a team to stay together and hang in there for the next season and start building names that your kids will remember. So that's what's going on with the Elks, Eskimos. I can't believe I just
They
said that. Oh my God.
they played the Red Blacks on
Yeah,
the 22nd,
yeah,
so
that's
that
what I'm
was last
saying.
Friday. So and they beat the Argonauts the week before, and the Alouettes the week
Yep,
before that.
yeah. And those are like not for nothing, but those are like Eastern teams, and the East sucks. Calgary is always a challenge, and like I said, if we can build off those successes and take at least one of those games, hopefully both against Calgary, get excited, Eskimo fans. The Calgary game will be Sunday, I reckon. Um, and if you're an Eskimo fan, you want to check that out and like hope for the best. And yeah, I honestly, I'll be watching and I'll be cheering. Um, Oilers, of course, there's nothing because, like I said, it's like cottage time. There's been rumblings about McDavid announcing a signing or whatever, but because I think everybody knows that McDavid's staying, or presumes that that McDavid's staying with the Oilers. It's just a matter of like how long that contract's going to be, and I think that McDavid might sign like a 4-year deal. Um, and why wouldn't you keep an eye on things? He's always going to be the highest paid player in the league until he retires. So there's the question of like, oh, I could get more in 4 years, but I'm not even sure that he worries about that. He's such a team guy. I think that his mentality is that like, I want to keep the team in check, and a 4-year check-in might matter. And also like every time McDavid signs a new contract, all the other contracts go up. So he might even be thinking about the rest of the league. Either way, McDavid, count on him signing within, or announcement of him signing his new contract, likely for less than 8 and probably around 4 in the next, I'd say, a month, because he won't want that bleeding into like even preseason, because no one wants to answer those questions every interview after every game. Uh,
But do you think his contract is going to go up significantly? Because if it does, then it affects the cap as a
yeah,
whole, and
yeah,
then you can't build on the team as much.
like yeah, for Edmonton specifically, you're absolutely right. Um, projections for the salary cap are that they're going to be going up a lot over the next for sure next year, like beyond the upcoming season, and then even more so after. So that's where like salaries come into play. Um, so like 4 years from now, if the cap is like it's projected to be somewhere around like 100 and change, not this upcoming year, but next year, meaning that teams have more money to spend. Well, if you project that 4 years from now, maybe you're looking at 120. So a guy like McDavid, knowing that Draisaitl is on the hook for, I think it's what he signed for 14. I'm pretty sure like last summer, and that contract starts this year. It's complicated, and I don't want to bore our listeners with cap talk, but
Yeah, please
um,
don't, because then I'll fall asleep.
yeah, but yeah, let's leave it at that. Bottom line, McDavid's going to sign soon, and the term will be shorter. But don't panic, Edmontonians. He'll probably stick around beyond that contract as long as we make sure that things go well. And I can't imagine that they won't. Being an optimist. Um, Last episode, I talked about, or maybe the one before that, Jay signing like Shane Bieber, who was the Cy Young Award winner in 2020, who just recovered from Tommy John surgery. He had his first start last Friday. That's the game that I was watching with Johnny at Bar Canada. And he had 9 strikeouts and I think 6 innings. And the kid was gold, like just gold, like just a total steal at the deadline. And the Jays continue apace. They're playing right now. They have a chance to. No, wait. They won 2 out of 3 their last series, and now they're playing the Twins, and they won the first game 10-4. So they're a wagon, and they're a team to watch. So you want to get excited about something like in October? Keep your eye on the Jays, and I'll leave it at that, Jimmy.
Okay, good, because I'm starting to nod off there. Um,
Totally, totally. Sorry.
okay,
Like,
so
yeah,
so
you
you
got to
were
check me sometimes. I love my enthusiasm.
no, that's okay. I need a good nap every once in a while. Um, now, when just before we went into the sports, you brought up if I wanted to, if there was anything on our prep, as we call it. That is there something that you wanted to talk about specifically?
I think it's your turn to talk. Um, you got any drunk thoughts from last week? I think we want to have a regular
Okay,
segment where Jimmy
I'd like to
talks
save
about drunk thoughts.
I like to save the drunk thoughts from Jimmy as just before we're the end of the show because it's drunk thoughts, and you gotta save them. Um, one thing that I did this week, and I'm gonna bring it up, is I I was watching some older movies this week, and I came across the movie Flash Gordon. Do you remember that movie?
Like the 80s one.
It's
The
yeah,
80s
the
one.
'80s one.
Yeah.
There was they have never done a Flash Gordon since the '80s. It is like
What?
the movie itself is so cheesy. Like it
Like
is the
as fuck. Yeah.
cheesiest.
Yeah.
It's the cheesiest thing that you could ever watch. The bad guy had a machine that could cause fire hail, where you have frozen pellets of fire coming down, and lightning and sandstorms, and like they had sandstorms where there wasn't sand. It was like the cheesiest movie on the planet. But why I'm bringing it up is, and I want to talk about this, movie soundtracks, because like the song, like the Flash Gordon tune from that movie was actually done by Queen, and it's
Gosh. Uh,
"Ah,
yeah.
hero of the universe.
Yeah.
Um, and it
Who's
just
that? that was kind of cheesy unto itself, eh?
Oh, well, it so is. But like
Yeah.
Queen back in the 80s, 90s, they were part of so many movie soundtracks and for movie and TV, like because Flash Gordon, they were Highlander, you know, Princes of the Universe, and actually there was a few Queen tunes that were part of like in the Highlander movies. Like they did so much stuff, and Queen is a band that their songs are known by every generation. Like because
Oh yeah,
even kids know, like because of We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions, which is on the Mighty Ducks and on any sports movie or
yeah,
hockey movie, Wayne's World, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah.
Like they're a band that every generation knows, whether it's our kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, grandparents.
Like I think that you're saying that like maybe uh Queen is like the most played band in the history of movies, right?
It's got to be up there. It's got to
Yeah.
be the most
Yeah, like
consistent.
now but there's a difference between like Flash Gordon where like I presume that Brian May is who's an awesome dude by the way. Like he's like he's pretty sure he's recognized by the crown. Not that that matters. I don't recognize crown, but whatever. Most cultured people think that means something. Um, but like, like he has some somewhat control of the catalog, and I know Freddie Mercury is still alive. Obviously, when they did the Flash Gordon thing, so there's a
Yeah,
difference between movies that your outfit is actively involved in that obviously in Flash Gordon's case wrote a song for, but then like your shit was used for a movie either like years later or generations later, right?
but
But
but even but even like with Queen, like Princes of the Universe was made for Highlander because
yeah,
it was he made some of these songs specifically for these shows, and it's mentioned in the song itself, and
yeah.
like and I just think it's brilliant, and like it keeps those artists in everybody's frame of mind because some of these movies, even though they're cheesy as hell, people still watch them. Like
Well, like you last week, Flash Gordon, Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon, which again, it's
Like the street. There's like at least five like super notable streamers that are like ABC, NBC, CBS now. Okay, that you have at your disposal. I know you do, motherfucker. I do. And like new shows populating the interwebs like every week, and you decide to watch Flash Gordon, which
dude.
admittedly,
I'm,
even
I'm
when it came
watching.
out, it was like garbage.
I'm watching
Not for
reruns.
nothing.
I'm watching reruns of the CW Supergirl. So like I'm a superhero guy. Like I watch Supergirl or uh Criminal Minds. Like I alternate. It depends if if I'm watching Criminal Minds too much and it gets too serious, I have to take a break, especially when I'm drinking, because I don't like to get too serious when I'm drinking, like serial killers and stuff. Then I'll switch to Supergirl or Two and a Half Men, or like reruns. I'm a rerun guy, but
Yeah, fair fucks.
superhero stuff is my thing, and some of the newer superhero movies aren't half as entertaining as some of the cheesy old ones. Like
Um,
they're even though they're cheesy, they're entertaining.
Okay. By the way,
That's
go on. No, do you have more to say about that? About your
no, I'm just saying, just because you think they're bad movies, and like they are bad movies, but they're bad movies in a fun way. Uh,
I didn't
for
specifically say they were bad movies. I'm just saying that there's just so much new content like out there
the
daily that and I get the superhero predilection, but like like Flash Gordon, like not for nothing, like you know.
I could have done better, but I didn't. Um,
Anyways, like maybe that Queen song was the best part of it, but what we were just talking about reminded me of something we talked about last episode when we were talking about Zod and your man that passed, um,
yeah, Terrence Stamp.
Terrence Stamp, and then you told me that they came out with like a new Superman movie that had Zod in it, and so I said that I would watch it.
Man of Steel.
Remember? Yeah, that
Yeah.
was like who was it? Zack Snyder or one of the other fellas? I don't know. I don't really care.
I think it is. I think it is Zack Snyder that did Man of
But
Steel.
I think I remember now that why I didn't watch it was because like it was like honestly, I hate to say this. I don't want to like get people worked up or whatever, but it was like Russell Crowe was Jor-El. And by the way, I don't mind that casting decision at all. Like that's actually pretty cool. But they were talking about how our world is ending because of environmentalism and kind of shit. Like that was
He didn't really get into.
our environment can't support our people, and we've been sending people to other planets
Well,
to
that was, but
colonize
that
them.
was,
Like,
but that was what that's what's happened on Krypton, and they were trying to find other places to go.
yeah,
They weren't talking about Earth doing that. They were talking about
no, but it's
Krypton doing that.
metaphorical. Come on, like I'm like, you know
Uh,
what,
and
like fuck off with your license. Like any kid watching that's gonna go, oh wow, that's just like Earth, and they could be. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I'm like, why
uh,
don't you leave the politics? Like it's a superhero movie. Like, why don't you focus on good and bad? Like
it's part of a storyline, dude.
we had to
The
leave.
thing is,
Hang on.
though,
No,
is you got
fuck
to
you.
watch it for the entertainment factor. You got to
Yeah,
watch it for the fact that you got superheroes, you got bad guys. At one
yep,
point, the U.S. government were scared of Superman because he had all these powers, and they were afraid of him. And then all of a sudden, they they ended up depending on him to protect them from the other Kryptonians.
yeah.
That's the story. That's the storyline you look at, is how, like, you don't look at the whole, I cannot watch movies with you. We cannot talk movies
Like, I
together
know. Listen, I gotta tell you
because
though. Listen,
because
I'm
you
just
look at the
talking about like
political end of it, and I want to just slap you with a shovel. Like,
no, it's not that. It's like I'm nobody. I don't matter. I like that's like we all agree on that. But like the idea that you know Jor-El's talking to Kal-El about like, oh, we had to leave Krypton because, in fact, you make your movie better when you go because General Zod and his minions overtook the planet, and we were going to die anyway because they were that evil. So, like, tell me that doesn't improve your storyline, And then it's like, and we got all of them, but General Zod escaped before they destroyed the planet. Like, please tell me that like that plot's better than like, oh well, we had to, the Krypton was dying because of the environment. Come
oh,
on, man. Like
it
don't
wasn't dire. It
like at least know when
wasn't
you're being
dying because
manipulated.
this. No, dude, the storyline in that one was actually no different, or when it comes to that part, than in the original movie. Because in the original movie with Christopher Reeves, they did the same thing. So this was back in what was that one? The original Super.
82, 83, like what are you talking about? Like the Superman 2?
No,
Arguably, or not even like
no,
the best.
Superman 1,
Zod was in 2.
but he was also in 1. Um, because he was convicted.
Yeah, that was
He was
1978.
that was 78. because at the beginning of the first one in Superman 1, they showed Zod
But Superman
doing
2 was
something on
80.
Krypton, and he
Oh,
was sent to the
see
Phantom Zone.
what I'm saying? You know,
But
like,
the thing
and
is
why do you
though
got to
is
talk about
they talked
environmentalism?
about, just have a coke and a smile. They talked about in the original movie in '78. They talked about that the experiments that they were doing on their core to keep energy, to build energy for these different things, and the experiments that they did ended up destroying their planet. And Jor-El warned them that, you're going to destroy the planet, and the planet was destroyed. And that was in the original movie. So that's none of this environmental crap.
Exactly.
They were
That's why
doing,
the first
no,
movie
it's
was
not it,
better.
but
He's
they were
like,
doing,
he's
they
like
did the
man's
same thing in
ambition.
this one.
No, in the first one, Jarrell's going like man's ambition, like overran like the goodness and decency of what we strive for on this planet. The one that you recommended to me, which I watched and was okay. Like the by the way, the guy that played Zod was not convincing enough to be a villain. But
No,
then
no,
again,
he was nothing like Terrence Stamp.
yeah, no,
Like,
Terrence Stamp again, Terrence Stamp, like Terrence Stamp.
like
But
Man of
but to
Steel.
add that like
This,
that whole like that whole environmental angle was just like unnecessary. And actually, the guy that was playing Zod in Man of Steel, if I was that actor, I'd be like really pissed off because I'm like, wouldn't my evilness be accentuated by the fact that I led the movement that destroyed the planet? And now you're talking about environmentalism. Like, what do I got to work with over here as an actor? Come on, Dick, you can't
uh,
disagree with me on that, or maybe you can. If you do,
maybe because I think you need to watch it again, because it
oh, I'm not watching that shit again. That'd be like you watching Flash Gordon or something. Oh wait, you did.
be like me watching Goodfellas again.
Yeah, learn something, kid.
Yeah, learn why my friend's an idiot. Um,
I fucking missed you, Jimmy. Like I literally, this is like the first time in like 3 months that I haven't seen you at least 2 times a week, and I missed
yeah,
you when I was in Vegas.
you 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 need a life, man. Um,
Yeah,
okay, there's something that's not in the prep that came up today when I was looking online, and I want to bring this up to you because it's big news. It's all over everything. It's everybody's talking about it. It's almost
don't
as
even. It's don't. Two people got engaged. It happens every day. Let's move on.
it's almost as big as the royal wedding. I am bringing it up. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey, they're finally getting married. But why I brought that up, why I bring that up is kind of funny because of how young they are, and they're both billionaires.
They're not young. They're like in their 30s. And Travis Kelsey
They're,
is not. I don't think Travis Kelsey is a billionaire unless his podcast with his brother is like somehow generated a shit. Like,
um,
no way Travis Kelsey's a billionaire.
oh
Like,
no, he's a millionaire. 90
without question, like
like
multi-millionaire.
his net worth is over 90 million.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
Taylor
she,
Swift though,
and she's in her net worth is 1.6 billion.
if I was marrying Taylor Swift and she goes, I talked to my accountant or I talked to my lawyer and he suggests I do a prenup, I'm like, no way, baby. Do you love me? And I'm like,
You
don't worry, I can sleep fine with my. What did you say he was worth? Like 20 million, 15 million?
something like that,
Kelsey?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I get a good night's rest with my 15 million. I mean, frankly, if you're smart about your money, like 15 million is generational wealth. Like it's not hard to fucking build that.
He's
Like
90.
90 even better. That's generational wealth. So
I'm
Having said that,
I don't even think my net worth is $90.
no, but the truth is like 90 million, like managed correctly, is generational wealth. 1.5 billion or whatever the fuck, like that's like no signing a prenup country. You know, like,
Like,
um,
yeah, 1.6 billion.
yeah. I'm like, I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
She probably spends more on shoes a month than I make in 5 years.
But I'm Travis Kelsey, and I'm like, you know what, Taylor, I'm not signing a prenup. I know your record with ex boyfriends. Like, like I'm like, if you want to sign a prenup with me, I get half your estate, and you're not writing a song about me.
Okay, I'm not signing a prenup, but when you dump me, you can't write a song about it.
And
And
also,
if you do write a song about me, I get half of whatever it
yeah,
brings in.
right. The other thing about that is, I think, like, I know I put in our notes that we can or we don't have to talk about fantasy, and we're not going to. We'll talk about it maybe next week because my draft is on Saturday. Like,
Yeah,
my draft is in
let's save
6
it for
days for
another
sure,
day.
for sure.
I don't
But
need
I'll
to
bet you.
be I don't need to
Okay.
be bored about sports again.
Yeah.
Like we just finished 20 minutes on you talking about hockey.
I know.
Now we're
Careful.
gonna be talking about fake football for another
Yeah.
half hour. Yeah,
But
no.
I'm telling you, like, just this isn't even that. I'm saying not for nothing, but if Taylor Swift was like in a fantasy league and like she had the first choice of tight ends, she is not picking Travis Kelsey.
Uh, but I
He's going
heard
to be
her end is
graduating
pretty
soon.
tight.
Hmm?
I said I hear her end is pretty tight.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
I was saying she had a nice ass. That's where I was going.
Oh, okay, yeah, whatever,
Okay,
whatever.
man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else you would like to talk about, or should we get into drunk thoughts of Jimmy?
Okay. Um, let's save it for next week. But like, um, this is like a teaser for next week. I'm looking at my phone and it says like 32 degrees Celsius, and I see heat warning. Like
Okay,
I'm a child. No, no, no. We'll talk about it next week. Or you want to talk about it now? Go ahead. And like,
um, no, let's talk
cat's
about it
out of the
next
bag.
week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah. Jimmy's
We'll
drunk
save.
thoughts. Like, best thing ever.
So, like, I don't know if I touched on why I do this, but every once in a while when I get really drunk, I think things like, you're watching a movie or you think of something, and then, and there were so
I
many
think it's
times where,
I think it's
or even
genius.
when we're talking, even
Yeah.
when we're talking about something,
Yeah.
and it's just all of a sudden you're drunk and you're talking about, like last week I had written on my drunk thoughts with Jimmy, midget self-defense. Well, what the heck was I thinking about that? Like why did I write down midget self-defense? Um,
I had guys come up to me like a week later. You know, I go to my local or something, and they're like, Mooney, thanks for the advice last week. It saved my life. And I'm like, so it's important. Like, I know journaling is a thing and journaling is important. I'm like, when you're drunk, you should journal because sometimes you get like real inspiration, right? Which
yeah,
is why we all love the Jimmy drunk thoughts.
yeah, because it's just like I wrote this down. And my drunk thoughts for the week was I was drinking and I was watching Star Wars: The Acolyte, as you do when you're drinking. Um,
Of course, yeah, like we all do
Yeah.
that, right? Everyone.
Every if you don't do it, then you're you have issues. Um, and I wrote down, and this is a quote from um, what day was this? This was the 22nd, and it was a quote from the Acolyte, as I said, and it is, "We are not defined by what we have lost, but we are defined by what we have survived." Because
That's awesome.
we've all um, we've all had issues. We've all, lost jobs, lost people, you know,
Yeah,
like whatever. But it's what we've survived and what we've done with it. And
yeah.
that's actually like, that's a drunk thought that actually made sense. Not midget self-defense. Um,
That's a
but
separate one. Hang on. Don't even go. Hang on. Pause. Pause on midget
it,
self defense, and just like I really love that statement. Um, it's kind of like, okay, like when you like remember like back in the day, like we're not talking that many years ago, like Fort Saskatchewan, like they had the fires and people had to evacuate and whatever. And I have a funny story that I probably already told you. Where like Andrew's like, I'm gonna take the cat. What would we take if we had to leave in like, half an hour? I'm like, oh, I'm taking my guitars, and she's like, oh, what about the cat? And I'm like, if there's room, like, but, but the idea being that like, at the end of the day, I mean, the one thing that is a certainty when you're born on this earth is like, you're going to die. Like, you gotta leave. And like having to leave your house, whether it be due to a fire or whatever, is a microcosm of like, that you gotta be gone. But what like what you're saying is that you gotta bring something, right? Like repeat that again.
what the quote?
Yeah,
It was that we are not defined by what we have lost, but we are defined by what we have survived.
yeah. So the idea
So,
being that like, sorry, like, every hardship that you go through in life should firm you up and make every other hardship that you have to like, deal with like, easier because you've learned from the one before, right?
like, it's kind of like the quote that, and it's used in so many different movies, or at least the kind of the premise behind it. Uh, it's not how many times you've been knocked down, but how many times you get up after. That it is. It's kind of the same thing. You're not defined, like, you could be knocked down 100 times, but as long as you get up 101 times,
Yes.
it's
Like hardship should be embraced because it's a lesson that teaches you how to better endure the next hardship. Is, I guess,
yeah.
my point.
And that's kind of like this, it doesn't matter what we have lost, but whether or not we've survived it. Like, it's how
I
you make it through.
right? Like, every setback is like actually to be embraced as a lesson to how to endure the next one. And I keep thinking of you, Jimmy. Like, I mean, it's been 10 episodes and you just keep getting better because you got to endure this over here, right?
But
I'm giving you your own punchlines.
the the thing is, though, is it's I totally lost that thought. But like, the thing is, though, it's a loss means nothing unless you've learned something from it.
Yeah.
Like losing your job, losing, anything. But if you've uh, learned something from it, you'll gain something from it.
Yep.
Kind of
Exactly.
kind of
Like that's
scenario.
that's my whole point. Like, I've been saying that to my kids for years. It's like we all suffer setbacks, but it's like, how do you manage that? Like, do you end up by like siloing yourself as a victim, or do you take that setback and go, what did I learn from this? I learned this, this, and this, and then that makes that setback actually valuable because I've learned tools that I can apply to my next setback and maybe overcome it a little bit easier. Not that
Yeah.
difficult. Um,
No.
what what other Jimmy drunk thoughts you got over there?
No, that's really all I've got for this time around because I was even uh like I don't always think philosophically when I'm drinking. Um but I know I was kind of dr- I was kind of drinking a bit this week or actually yesterday thinking about the fact that we touched on it earlier in the show that I was having to uh, apply for EI, and it was
Yeah.
bugging me because it I was looking at having to uh,
Now stop talking.
apply for EI because it was a I failed at something
Now you don't stop
like
talking for a sec. Like, can you let me? Like, you know why it bothered you? It's because you're a fucking man, and it's like the man says, like, it's my job. A man knows. A man intuitively says it's like my responsibility to like provide for myself, like to take care of the people around me, to be a loving like leader of the people around me and stuff. And it's like wires get crossed when you go, wait a minute. I'm like, I need a little help. So I can understand completely how that would be, um, like a little bit of a setback or a way for a fellow to feel bad. And I'm telling you right now, the only reason why you consider that a setback is because you are in fact a man, that possesses all those things that I just described. So hit the brakes on the beating the fella up thing,
no no
Jimmy.
no
Like,
I no but it took me to kind of that thought, and then you know what it's life, and not everything you know
yeah,
works out exactly as you want it to.
yeah, and
And
and we figure it out, and we learn from the second time, like we were just talking about. Like we learn from our mistakes or our setbacks, and we become better. And I'm sure you will because I know how solid you are, and I missed you because it's been like pretty much a week. I love you,
yeah,
bro.
we'll have to get together again soon. We should
Yeah.
actually had this on our notes. We're hitting September, dude. We have to hit another boat trip. You and I have only been on the boat once together
Well, we
this
typically
season.
do Monday, so like weather permitting, we should go out on the boat next Monday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In water twice. Boat Monday, dunk tank Tuesday.
Not my problem. You signed up for it. Look at his
Yeah.
face and
You
like wonder
you
whether I
tricked
can.
me. You tricked me, Mike. Yeah, yeah. You were like my son needs your help, Jimmy. He needs you, Jimmy.
Dude, that would be awesome if we did it next week from the boat. If the weather permits, we will do that. Um,
Yeah.
we always have our best talks out there anyway, so that would be awesome. But we'll see.
All right. But this is the Bald and Short of It podcast. We're back to normal. We're at an hour and 55 minutes,
Wow.
plus or minus. And hey, no glitches this time.
I can't even explain.
Like, I don't know how you did it without having a glitch. Like, it's kind
Yeah,
of
I got nothing for you
impressive.
on that front. Yeah.
But yeah, this is the Bald and Short of It podcast. And we had our friend Mike Bayrack on earlier. I am going to be actually, no, the dunk tank is after our next podcast. So we will
It doesn't
probably
matter. It's
be,
Tuesday, September 2nd, from 2 to 6 at the Delta Kappa Epsilon Fraternity House. 11003 87th Avenue. Again, Tuesday, September 2nd, 2 to 6. Look at that guy over there.
That's
He's going to make
that's
something happen.
that's PM. And yeah, and it's going to be fun. It's always fun when people get to dunk a midget. It's even fun for the midget, especially if he's drinking. And yeah, this is the Bald and Short of It podcast. I am James P. White. That is Chris Mooney. I'm short. He's bald, and we'll see you next time.
Must be Canadians. Get in there, Jimmy! Somebody go help Jimmy! Somebody go help Jimmy! I lost my penis. You okay?